Today we're looking at dynasty trades and player values, when to buy, when to sell, we're timing the market and everything else. Before we dig in though, you need to click that subscribe button right now. Rookie camp clips are here. We're going to have more clips starting on Friday, maybe even tomorrow, and then throughout the weekend. Then it's mini camp, OTAs, training camp down the road, so you can see what your players are doing behind the scenes. We're talking about player values here for Dynasty Fantasy Football, redraft as well. It's all right here for free, multiple videos a day. Click that button, stop missing out. But we had some big news today. George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys. So he is definitely going to be the wide receiver 2 there with CeeDee Lamb. And going from the Steelers to the Cowboys, 2 different situations for him. Right now, wide receiver 33, we're going to see a change one way or another, and it might be just barely a change. It might be that. 11.9 points per game last year, 7.3 targets per game. Last year, we had a 26.5% target share and an 8 out of 13.6. Looking at what the Cowboys have, last year was Brandon Cooks, and he had an 8 out of 11.7. Jalen Tolbert, 11.5 on the 8 dot. So they're going to want to push him deep. CeeDee Lamb's 8 dots at 7.8. They're going to use him deep. That's what they're going to use George Pickens for. And you're looking at the target shares with the other wide receivers. 16% for Brandon Cooks, even though he was hurt last year. So that was a little bit different the year prior. I believe it was up a few points. 13% for Jalen Tolbert. That being said, double-digit A-dot, probably around 20 to 18%, somewhere in that range. I would not be surprised if we're hovering around 18, 19%, maybe even 20 to 21% on the high, but we're not going to be at 26.5% anymore because we're going to see CeeDee Lamb continue to get all the targets unless something happens to CeeDee Lamb. But what we are going to see is a good A-dot for him, but it should be similar or a little less to where he was at a 13.6 average depth of target. However, the quality of targets are going to be a lot better as long as Dak's healthy and on the field. Catchable target rate was 71st among wide receivers last year. Target quality was 54th among wide receivers last year. And this is with him being 4th among wide receivers in deep ball attempts. Looking at what Brandon Cooks did in targets over the last 2 seasons, there have been games where he got you spike weeks in terms of targets. He had a 10 spot, a couple 8 spots, a 9 spots, a few games where he got 7 targets, averaged 5 targets or more in a lot of games, some doubters as well. There's volatility in this offense. We also had quarterbacks in and out of this offense as well due to injuries. And you're looking at the player value, it's going to change. If you're interested in him, if you're interested in a spiky production, which I believe it's going to be spiky production at Dallas, there's going to be some games where he blows up, where he catches a couple deep targets and he produces well. And there's going to be some games where he's just okay. I think the floor is going to be all right. Week to week, I think it's going to be an all right floor. High-end wide receiver 3, mid-line wide receiver 2-ish. Most games on the floor with some boom weeks. Again, down weeks are going to be played in there because there is going to be some games where he gets shut down, where he gets a couple targets. And CeeDee Lamb's just getting all the targets in that tough matchup. That should be normal, but mostly a decent floor coming your way with George Pickens. I expect to be valued in a similar light. I think there's going to be some players that will jump on him due to him going to the Dallas Cowboys, but I think there's some other people that are just going to watch and sit on their hands too and see what happens. Marquise Hollywood-Brown. A lot of talk on Jalen Royals at minicamp. One thing we do know at minicamp, it's the basics, it's the basic drills. There's not much competition there. They're not really pushing things. They're just getting things basically installed there. But Marquise Hollywood-Brown, when he came back from that injury, 8 targets, 7 targets, twitched up wide receiver, older vet. He's more for a win-now team than he is for a rebuilding team. Maybe middle of the road at worst. But still, if you're rebuilding, you want to stay away from him. Valued at wide receiver 69. So he's very cheap, very palatable to get. We can't really look at the numbers because he wasn't really on the field that much. Had a 19% target share when he was on the field and averaging 7.5 targets per game. Got a contract for 1 year. So he's here for a short time, not a long time. If Jalen Royals hits, he might not get another contract with the Chiefs. That might not happen. Soon we're going to be 28 years old. We're not going to be with the Chiefs forever. It's a great situation. It's great for redraft if you're playing redraft with your dynasty team because you're in it to win it now. This might be an option to go after considering we didn't get production last year, considering his value's on the low right now compared to where it was about 4 months ago. That's something to pay attention to. And when you're looking at his value against other wide receivers, against other adjacent players, it's cheap. It's cheap. It's a cheap dart throw. That's how he should be valued. Honestly, there's a lot of competition in this offense. He looked good in training camp with the Chiefs last year. He gelled well with Patrick Mahomes, and we saw that when he came back from the injury. He was gelling pretty well getting those targets. That being said, you might see a spike in training camp, so you may want to go now if you're going to do it. JT Sanders, we're looking at the Panthers here, tight end 27. The dust is settling from the draft, and this is a tight end that you can catch at a discount. Nothing really happened to impact his value. He had his moments last year as a rookie, which is pretty good for a tight end. And we're going into year 2, so if you want to shoot your shot on a cheap upside flyer tight end, here you go. On top of that, target share 9%, which is fine, but it was like spiky moments and a rookie ramp up mixed in there. So it's really hard to look at everything. ADOT's about average for a tight end, ranking 19th among tight ends, and route participation rate 26th among tight ends. Again, we had a rookie ramp up, so it's really hard to peg these numbers down to him. But we do know we got targets, we got opportunities in some moments as a rookie who was a mid-round pick. JT Sanders is another dart throw to get on the cheap, and he's cheap. He's just cheap. That's the one thing about it. You might be able to catch him cheap in your rookie drafts if you hate what's on the board. If you hate the running backs there, you're in the 3rd, 4th, whatever, and you can get him for that price, go ahead. He's probably not going to be sold. Like, some leagues, it's pulling teeth. You're just going to have to shoot your shot, see what deals you can get done. But JT Sanders right now, tight end 27, afterthought due to the draft. Some people really liked him. Some people don't care. But again, another cheap player. Marshawn Lloyd, rising in stock a little bit after the draft. Did not get impacted by the NFL draft. Very explosive player. It is a guy that you may want to look at if you do not like what's on the board at you in your rookie drafts, or if you're looking to make some deals or looking to get in on a young running back, because here's another one for you. But the price is up. People are holding him a little bit more, so you should have did that in March. You should have did that a little bit earlier. That's what that's saying. But we're going to see a ramp up in training camp, minicamp OTAs. When we get a look at him on the field, we get a little bit of coach speak. So you're going to see a little ramp up in value. But 220 pounds, 4.46 40-yard dash. There's a lot of people that like him. It doesn't matter if you like him or not. We're watching the value here. It looks like it's going to increase a little bit throughout the offseason. So if you're looking to deal or get off him, so sometime in the offseason, maybe during training camp, might be a good look for you. But you may want to hold on just to see if there's attrition with the Packers, see how they're going to use them, or if he starts taking a step forward in development. Next player we're looking at here is Tyler Algier, 6.2 points per game, but did not get blasted by the draft, or right behind Bijan Robinson. Bijan gets a lot of work, and if Bijan goes down, he's going to be a steady producer for you. Steady as in getting a lot of work, getting a lot of touches. We're looking at a 400,000-yard rusher here, getting some goal line work. RB 57. He had an RB1 week last year and an RB2 week last year as well. With Bijan being very good, very productive, getting a lot of the work. That being said, if Bijan goes down, everybody's going to want Tyler Algier. And if you have him now around this price tag and Bijan does go down, you can sell him for a ton to the Bijan manager or whoever's trying to win the league. Multiple different ways you can play this game. Opportunity share, 54th among running backs, but we're really just looking at him as an asset just in case the starter goes down, just like some of the other running backs. But we do know he's going to get a lot of work. We do know he can turn out yards. We do know he'll get goal line work, and we do know he's relatively safe. The contract's not for long with the Falcons. However, we're a backup running back. We know it's the Bijan show. He might just stay there on a cheaper contract. You never know, but that's not really a prediction either. But don't look at him as like automatically going. He can automatically go to a place where he thinks he's getting more opportunity as well. That being said, adjacent players is cheap. Just looking at cheap options just in case you can't get the running backs you want in this draft. Or if you're looking to deal, you didn't get what you wanted in the draft, and now you're looking at veterans, or you're still looking at veterans, you're looking for throw-ins, whatever you need to do. Puka Nacua. I had to go for an up-ticket player here. Puka's the guy I haven't talked about for a long time. Top 10 wide receiver, turn up some value, ADP, keep trade cut, calculators, whatever you want to look at. 18.8 points per game. Start off the season hurts. We went over that in training camp when he went down. 9.6 targets per game. Multiple games, pushing 15 targets. Always going to get to work there. Almost a 30% target share. ADOT's a little low, but that 30% target share is elite. It is money. Getting that volume there, 106 targets while missing a big bulk of the season. We're always going to be out there. Route participation rate's kind of fake considering he was in and out. So when you're looking at him, you're looking at a very steady wide receiver, very safe wide receiver, very expensive wide receiver. So you're going to have to pay up to get him. We all know that, but you also want to look at the numbers. You want to look at that. You got competition there with Devontae Adams, but it's not really going to impact you. Maybe even help you because it's going to allow you to keep the chains moving, allow you to get more opportunities in the offense, allow Matthew Stafford to cook a little bit more, and allow you to cook a little bit more on the field. I think he's good to go for this year. Bucky Irving. A lot of people are looking for the next Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving went through the draft unscathed, which we were expecting due to looking at the depth chart, but the value's still high, RB7, so we're looking at another up-ticket player here. 14.5 points per game. Honestly, I just haven't talked about him for a long time, and I want to talk about him. I don't have reasons. I just look through the list, and I look at the names. If you got somebody you want thrown on next week's list, just let me know. 15.2 opportunities a game. Big ramp up from like week 6 to the end of the season. Really, the back 9, week 12 to week 18. Steady with production. Very steady when it comes to workload. Very steady when it comes to opportunity, especially since they use 2 running backs, which is really going to help him in his longevity. We're seeing less running backs get hurt. So honestly, the committees are helping this backfield. 9th among running backs in receiving yards, 10th in receptions, 34th in opportunity share, getting work, 2 yards per carry, 6 yards per touch, 5th, juke rate, 3rd, evaded tackles, 5. Safe buy, especially going into year 2, RB7. Everybody's looking to develop their backfields to copy Tampa Bay now. We had a few coaches already say that over the last couple weeks. That being said, Bucky Irving is a good get, but he's expensive. That's all I can say. He's expensive. Good get, but expensive. But you already know that. Caleb Williams. Expensive in Superflex. Interesting for 1 QB. 17.7 points per game. And is a good pivot play. If you don't like your 101, 102, you're looking to get to the quarterback position, whatever, if you're looking for that, he's got a hefty price tag, though. Not a lot of people are going to come off him. Superflex people don't come off the quarterback, so he's QB7 in the rankings per Keep Trade Cut. But honestly, he's locked in and stoned in a lot of teams. That being said, air yards per game, we had some games over 500. We're consistently over 250, pushing 300 a lot of games. We had some down games, but again, rookie season volatility. We upgraded the offensive line. We added Luther Burden, Colston Loveland. We changed the offense completely, better coaching staff. We're expecting Caleb Williams to make a huge jump. When can we buy? If that jump doesn't happen next year and people start to get fickle, then buy in. Considering this is a great talent, easy QB1 in this year's class, would really smoke the quarterbacks in this year's draft class. Maybe it takes an extra year in the system for us to start hitting that upside. Maybe there's a gradual ramp up to the back end of the season, but if people start getting fickle, if the results aren't there where people want, just start buying it then, seeing what you can get for them. Deep ball attempts, #1 among quarterbacks last year. Different system though this year, that could change. Second, air yards, he pushes it downfield. We saw that at USC though. He does not go to the running backs that much. He likes to push it downfield. There are moments where he did go to Swift a lot, but it was after moments in games where he consistently was pushing it downfield, like the coaching staff kind of coached that into him, but he likes to push it. He likes to be aggressive. That is the player he is, and that's great for fantasy. We got a little bit of mobility with him, but he likes to push that ball downfield. That is what we like about Caleb Williams. We got wide receivers that mesh well with that, with Roma Dunze, Luther Burden over the middle, DJ Moore. That could add well to this offense. Operating from a clean pocket, ranked 31st among quarterbacks there. That is not good, but that's going to get better. That is going to get better since we upgrade the offensive line. Imagine if we get up to like 20th among quarterbacks. What if that happens and it's around like 70% of our pass attempts? What if that happens? We're going to see a lot better Caleb Williams. The price is already up there, though. It's not like you can buy low on him. No one's selling him, really. He's kind of locked in on stone with his teams, and he's very expensive in Dynasty. Superflex is expensive. 1 QB. Quarterbacks are easier to get. Maybe that's your route to do. But Caleb Williams is a great prospect. I just want to look at the market on him. The numbers are looking good. The Bears are really transitioning to be on the up and up. Caleb Williams has some upside here. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. Well, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.